Hey guys, so today I am back with another sleeve tutorial. Now today's sleeve was something I've been seeing on Pinterest and it looks very confusing. This is the picture. And another one. I mean, there's not that many of these, but I think it's because they're very hard to do. Now, what I decided to do is do some investigation and see if I could find any patterns of the sleeve, which I kind of did, but they're all slightly different. And I am going to show you guys how to make this beautiful sleeve. Very complicated. I don't think is as complicated as it seems after you start doing it. It's just very it's repetitive, and when you have the right instructions you'll find it very easy to do. Let's get started. Don't forget you're going to need your pattern paper. You're going to need your what is it called, your blocks, which I am left in the link in the description as a PDF, which you can save. And you're going to need your pattern master, your scissors, and your pencil, and your rubber. So yeah, let's get started, and I hope you enjoy it. Alright guys, so the first thing you're going to need is your pattern paper. You're going to lay it out on the table, and you're going to get the block, which, as I said, is in the link in the bio. It's a PDF with the sleeve, the front bodice and the back bodice. I'm going to proceed to just place a few things to keep it down, because I roll all my blocks together, because I always take them to uni when we are having studio lectures, and I end up messing them up because they're all rolled up. So what you're going to start by doing is you're going to cut out a section of your paper that is roughly the size of the sleeve, so that you don't have to deal with the constantly falling roll of paper. And you're going to trace the whole sleeve all the way around, and making sure that you note down the notches, making sure that you note down the dart, and making sure that you note down where is the middle of the sleeve. So from the top to the bottom, what is the center of the sleeve, because you're going to need this later. As you can see, I am noting down all the different notches. Okay, because if you're going to make this sleeve and you're going to attach it to a body, you need to make sure that you know which one is the front side and which one is the back side. All right, so okay, now I am just noting down my darts, because at this point I was actually not sure if I was going to need these or not, because I was thinking when I make the sleeve it might be loose around my wrist, so I decided to keep it just in case later I might need it. And I'm using this thing which I actually forgot the name of, but I will make sure I also leave a link to it below, because I got it off Amazon. This is something that you need to mark notches, because the pencil doesn't go through the paper, or at least my paper, because it's so thick, it's like card. So use that to go through it. Now, as you can see, I am going to draw a line across the middle, which is why I told you to note it down before. I'm using the 1 meter ruler. This is something I got in a hardware store. Actually, my uncle got it with me, because he does all kinds of building, and I I go for fun to these places to look for materials, and I might find one on Amazon and give the link to you guys. So now you're going to use your pattern master, because it has a 45-degree angle. At least the one I have. The one I leave in the description has it. So I'm going to leave this here. I'm going to use the 45 degrees to draw 45-degree angled lines across the sleeve. So I'm going to start with the first one, and then I left 5 centimeters. You see that edge? That has 5 centimeters away from the center line, and I'm gonna keep going with this all the way along. As you can see, one side of the line has the 5 centimeters and the other one just joins to the center. So 5 centimeters, center, 5 centimeters, center. And you keep doing this again and again. As you can see, I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Okay, I'm just gonna keep doing this. And this is what you're gonna do as well. And sorry about the background noises. I have doors slamming. I have ghosts moving around the house. So you keep drawing this. If you want, you can have bigger spaces and less strips. It's up to you. I just thought 5 centimeters, cool, it's gonna be fun. We'll see what happens. All right, you can do 10 centimeters. The more centimeters you leave, the chunkier your strips are going to be. So it's all up to you. So guys, as I was saying, you keep going with your strips and you make sure that you remove the center line after you make them, because you no longer need that center line for anything. It's just useless. Get rid of it. So you don't get confused later, because we don't want to get confused. We want this to be crisp and clear when we are cutting, when we are making, and when we're moving forward. All right. So I'm just making the last few strips and then we'll get to the next stage. Just a side note, while I am currently doing this, I want to ask you guys, what do you think I should do next? I know I have been doing sleeves, all right? And I make these tutorials, but I want you guys to give me more ideas. What do you want me to make? I'll make anything for you guys. Seriously, whatever you want. Tell me if this was something I was curious about, but if there's something you're curious about and you have no idea how to make, I will find out and I'll make it for you. Now, what I'm doing now is I'm cutting all the way around, and as you saw, I put numbers on each one of the sections. This is because later on I want to make sure I know which one is where, and I can see that I go from 1 to 12, and also because I'm scared that when I cut them, they're going to be very flimsy and they might rip apart. So I need to make sure I know where each one goes. So as I'm cutting around, I did not leave a 1 centimeter allowance for the seam, because I am planning on doing this later. Usually I'll do it straight away, but this time we're doing it differently because I think it's just going to add an extra step at this point, which is going to make my life more difficult later. Now I'm extending the last line because actually I want the end to be a triangle, also because I need to cut it. All right, so you're going to start by cutting each section, but don't cut it all the way to the edge. You have to leave just a little bit of paper that is actually clinging onto the other piece, so that you can very easily move them around, but you still want them to all stick together. All right, so it's like a big family, but they're barely clinging to each other. So yeah, you're going to keep doing this to all the sections, and you cut almost to the edge, but you don't actually cut it off. All right. So yeah. Now, as you can see, we have all of them cut away from each other, and we're going to use this brown paper. Well, I'm using it. You don't have to use it. The only reason why I did is because I found it, and I think this is a good idea for you guys to basically use things that you find. Don't just think that you need to buy everything new. Look for your house. Look at things that you might have, so that you can reuse and recycle. This was a paper from IKEA, like IKEA furniture. You know, when you buy it and it comes with those sheets of brownish, I think it's like newsprint. I don't really know what it's called, but it's like this kind of thin paper that goes between the pieces of wood so that they don't scratch up against each other. Yeah, that's the one I'm using. So as you can see, we're taping down the paper underneath the sections. All right, and I left like about, I don't know, 20-degree angle between each one, and this is something you're gonna do continuously throughout the whole thing. So you're gonna cut the things underneath the ends, and you're also going to make sure that you measure between both pieces, so the edge of one and the edge of the other. For me, it was a 5 centimeter distance. This helps me make sure that when I do the other ones, I'm going to leave a 5 centimeter difference between each one. So I measure it from the edge of the top one to the bottom one. All right, I do this for every single one, making sure that they are all the same angle of like separation. This is because I don't want you guys to think that you need to buy like all kinds of tools, although it's already quite a lot to make what I'm making. But if you're going to have to buy protractor just to measure 20 centimeters on each one, it's going to make your life so difficult, and it's going to make it so long. I mean, it's going to make it super crispy and super accurate, but you don't have to be so extremely accurate. Okay, so keep doing this for all of them. Something that I realized while I'm doing this is that, you know, I could have made my life so much easier, and this is something I think you guys should do too. Figure out how many spaces there are going to be between all of your sections, and then cut triangles that are going to be all the same size. So cut the first triangle, see how it's going to fit, and then use that triangle as a mold to cut another, I don't know how many, imagine it was 12 spaces. You cut 12 triangles that are exactly the same, okay? And this is going to make sure that you are not spending longer just messing around with the big piece of paper, and it makes them much easier to just stick on. All right, so you keep doing this until you get all the way around, and make sure that you leave enough paper at the edge so when you fold it, it's going to give you enough for you to sew later, because don't forget, this is actually something we need to sew. So this is the piece after I stuck the paper all the way around, and now what we're going to do is we're going to fold it. So figure out where's the edges and where's the halfway point, and make a sort of pleat. Okay, this is what I'm currently doing. All right, and you're going to fold it upwards. Can you see what I'm doing? You're folding it up. And I'm not cutting anything yet, because I don't know how much I'm going to need for later, especially for that first one, because I know it's going to have to reach a long distance. So you're going to keep doing this. So you figure out where's the middle, make the fold, and then fold it over the top piece of paper. And you do this again and again and again. By the way, guys, I'm planning on doing like a quick history lesson on every video that I'm making, or like a fun fact. But thing is, this type of sleeve is so abnormal and so underused and not very well known that I actually can't find any history or any fun facts for this one. The only thing I can tell you is that it looks like a zigzag, or you can say it looks like a pleat, and it's interesting, and that's it. So yeah, sorry guys. So I have gone almost to the top. Now I thought that you guys would find it useful to see this section, because this is when it might get hard. So even I was confused for a second there. So this one is going to fold over the top, and the other one is going to go underneath. I don't know if you can see. I'm just folding it. Yep. And I'm going to put the one I was doing before over it, and I'm going to chop off the excess paper, because I don't need so much extra paper. Corona. By the way, guys, what are you making these days? What are you doing in Corona times? What are you doing while stuck at home? Let me know in the comments. Okay, see? I cut off the excess and I'm sticking it down with tape. This is just so I can see if it's going well or if it's not going well. This is just for progress purposes, but you don't have to do it yourself. I'm just trying to show you guys how slowly it's coming to being. So now I'm beginning to fold the other side under this. So I decided that on this side, the one that's towards me, it's the parts that are going to be folded over the other ones. So it's always these parts folding over the other parts. Okay. So I don't know why I haven't folded that section over yet. Okay, now I folded it. So as you can see, this section is way too big. So what I'm doing is I am going to cut off this excess piece of paper, because it's just not doing anything. It's not benefiting anybody. All right, and I'm going to just chop off that little excess and tape it down. And yeah, you just have to do this process again and again and again until you have the whole thing. As you can see, I've done it all the way to the bottom. I'm just currently sticking down the last one so you guys can see. So now we can kind of see the effect of the overlapping sections on the paper. This was just to show you guys kind of what you're expecting, because you need to double check before you're going to waste fabric, which is way more expensive than paper. You need to check if things work and if they're going to look how you expect them to look. Okay, and you need to check if they fit together nicely. So guys, this was actually going to become a very long video if I did not stop it here. So this is the first part of the video where you make the pattern, and it's a very long process, which is why I've divided it into two. As you can see, we have finally completed it all, and we have all the parts, and I've showed you how it's going to look. So on the next video, I'm going to show you how to make this into the final product, and you will see. I would suggest you guys do this on a bigger table, because I really struggle to move it around, and also make sure that it's like not falling, because when I did it, it just kept coming this way, and I had to keep using things to like stop it from falling down. So yeah, the reason why I use this is because one, I want to show you guys that you can be resourceful. Yeah, so I'll see you guys in the next video. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos. This is, by the way, like the hardest sleeve I've ever made in my life, so this is why I am struggling a little bit comparing to other sleeves that I've made. This has a lot of steps and it's very technical, but it's okay because we can make it. We can get through with this. So if you're struggling with it, don't you worry, I'm on the same boat as you. Okay, we just have to keep pushing and we can all make it. So don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment down below if there's any other crazy sleeve you would like me to make, because I'll make anything you want me to make, even though it's probably going to be something crazy and outrageous. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We can make it happen. So yeah, thank you so much for watching and have a beautiful day.